Today I'm going to be making spaghetti with Amatriciana sauce, and I started making tomato sauce mostly in class without any onion in it because the students didn't like to smell like onion, but it's been a long time since I made a sauce with onion and I love the flavor of it. And this sauce has onion and sometimes garlic, sometimes not. I'm going to add garlic, a little bit of crushed red pepper, usually a little bit more than I prefer, so I go easy on it. And the secret ingredient is some sort of pork fat. I don't have access right now to pancetta or anything like that, so I'm going to use bacon. And the first thing that I'm going to start with is a saute pan with 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Okay. I have 1 can of San Marzano tomatoes that I have crushed by hand, so they were whole plum tomatoes. And I'm going to slice the onion. And what I want to do for the onion is I want to cut it in the opposite direction that I usually do. So I'm going to cut it from pole to pole, meaning from this circle to that circle. So I'm going to take off both sides, which I normally don't do, right? When we cut an onion, I always say to leave on the root. But I'm going to be slicing this so that the onion is really more of an ingredient rather than just a flavoring that melts into the background, as it does with some other sauces. Okay? And instead of going, making cuts this way and then dicing, I'm going to cut from the root end to the stem end. And flip it on its side. Okay, my sliced tomato. So first goes in the onion. And I'm going to saute this just until it starts to get translucent. I'm also going to add my red pepper flakes. You could do up to a teaspoon, but I'm a wimp, so I'm only doing a few flecks of it. And also to help it soften, I'm going to start with a ½ teaspoon of kosher salt. I'm going to do 1 clove of garlic minced. And in my other recipes for tomato sauce or marinara sauce, when I do the garlic, I don't mince it. I keep the garlic kind of smashed because another thing that students don't like is for their hands to smell like garlic. But the minced garlic, I'm using less of it. In my marinara sauce, I use about 7 to 8 cloves of garlic, and in this I'm only using 1 because it's going to have a stronger flavor since I've minced it. And I'm also not going to worry about the garlic getting as brown in this recipe. Whereas in the marinara sauce, that's such a key component, is that I brown the garlic. And this is starting to soften, so now I'm going to add my bacon. Now if you notice, I have my bacon in chunks here. And what I do when I get bacon, I usually just use it for cooking rather than as like an actual side dish. And I take the pack of bacon, I cut strips horizontally so that I have tons of little tiny pieces of bacon that then I can put in the freezer and they can go right into a dish and bake up. You can see the bacon starts to break into little pieces as it thaws. Now I'm going to add my tomatoes. And I'm going to let this simmer and reduce while I cook 1 pound of spaghetti. The sauce has been simmering for as long as it took to cook the pasta. And I saved about 1 cup of pasta cooking liquid. So now I'm going to add my drained pasta right into the sauce. And I can actually, this has been sitting for a second, it already needs a little bit of that to loosen it up. So I can mix it easier. I tasted the sauce for salt and pepper, and you could definitely add more red pepper if you like it. And I felt that the sauce had enough salt because it does have that bacon in it. I'm just going to coat this. And as you can imagine with the hand crushed tomatoes and the sliced onions, that this is a chunky tomato sauce. Okay, and it looks a little thick, so I am going to use the rest of this pasta cooking liquid. And your pasta cooking liquid was seasoned with salt, so you shouldn't really need to adjust the salt if you're adding that cooking liquid. And now I'm just going to stack up a few clean basil leaves and roll those tightly. And then just just run your knife through it to chiffonade it. And I'm just using a meat fork to serve this up. Now that I have this plated, I'm gonna give it a nice shower of cheese. And there's another classic tomato sauce to try on your next spaghetti night.